What's going on, everyone? Corey Vincent here with NRG Esports, and we have another big announcement in regards to our Overwatch team. We've officially signed a brand new coach. His name is Seamus Seamoose Anderson, and to help me welcome him to the NRG family, I'm also joined by IDDQD and Harbleu. Seamoose, welcome to NRG, man.
Thank you.
How's it working so far?
It's been pretty good. I mean, I've been working with the team discreetly for a couple of weeks now, but it's been really fun, and I'm glad that we can finally announce it.
We got two of our huge players here in Harbleu and IDDQD, and these guys are not just like amazing players; they're also huge personalities. And you seem like a pretty normal dude. How do you keep these characters in line?
Well, I mean, one of the things that I really was interested in with this team, and one of the things that I appreciate, is the fact that there is so much talent and so much personality. And that means like our potential is really, really high because we have these individually like fantastic players. But on the other hand, it's important to keep communication focused. And that's kind of what we're working on right now in terms of how exactly does our team communicate properly and how do we communicate most efficiently. So actually, if you wanted, Andre, you could tell a little story. But we invented a code word almost for frustrating situations to try and reduce the clutter in comms.
Okay, so when I get upset, when I get frustrated, I think they come for a lot of players in our team. But they tend to be a little bit of curse words after a death or after a teammate that doesn't go well. I think I was on the front when it comes to that. So instead of cursing, Mr. Seamoose then decided that every time I get angry, I would say pudding. Pudding, pudding, pudding. What the pudding? Holy pudding. And, teammates kind of cut up that. I'm wondering, where the pudding that came from. So, yeah, it's kind of to reduce stress, not get frustrated in games and whatnot.
Yeah. There's like a specific reason why, too. One thing that I'm trying to do for myself and for the team is try to educate myself on, like, human and performance psychology. And it's shown that it's easier to build a habit than to break one, right? So instead of just telling to Andre, like, or all the players, like, if you're frustrated, you're cluttering comms, stop talking, try to break that habit. Instead, why not try to build a new one, which is like, if a frustrating situation happens or something stupid happens, you say something lighthearted, like pudding. And it's done decent work. I mean, it's like a process of building that habit too. And obviously, when you're frustrated and emotions are high, still stuff is going to come out. But I've been pretty impressed with how well he's taken it, and now we've kind of applied it to the entire team.
So, Overwatch is so new, like it's so young, and you guys are honestly the first generation, let's say, of big stars in this game. So what makes a great coach? Harbleu, I kind of want to ask you, because you guys are the players. You're the ones who have, in theory, this amazing skill level of the game. Where does a coach come in and help shape you, and where does he get his credibility?
Seamus is definitely doing a really good job at it. I think in order to be a good coach, the two main things I normally look for is someone who's knowledgeable about the game and also who is like confident in terms of like giving criticism and everything like that. We've trialed other coaches before, and even if they're knowledgeable about the game, sometimes they're like too afraid to like be firm with the players. So I think you actually have to have both of those aspects in order to be a really good coach. And that's where Seamoose, he's not afraid to, stand his ground, even if like the players are trying to like argue against it. And he's definitely, also knowledgeable about the game. He's not, he's not a top 500 player. He's not the best player out there, but he knows, he definitely knows the game in and out, and is always willing to help like give input on strategy and potential team compositions that we should be running and everything like that.
Before you joined the team, Seamoose, what was your impressions of this group of people?
Like, I mean, I've encountered these guys before in passing, like, quite a bit throughout the span of Overwatch's existence, and obviously I knew about their streams and that they were personalities. One of the first comments I had to myself when I like first watched the scrims was like, these guys are pretty loud. But also, one of the best things about sort of their loudness and to a degree, like their confidence, is the fact that any of them can make a play when necessary. Like legitimately everyone, from the support to the tank to the DPS, which is kind of like one of the most important things to being like a very elite team. Ironically, where we have issues right now is like our team coordination and stuff. But that's where some middle tier teams without star players do a really good job of playing together as a team, but they might not get to that super elite level because, you know, they don't have the individual star players. If we're able to come together as a team with the talent that we have, like, you know, it's going to be an incredibly powerful team. And that's one of the things when I first was traveling for these guys that I was really impressed by was their confidence and their ability to make those plays.
Andre, so, you know, we haven't heard much of you guys. We made the big announcement. The first tournament did not go the way, you know, we wanted it to. There was reasons beyond our control, obviously. You know, how did you absorb that kind of loss? I mean, you're a big star player. You're an amazing guy. You know, everyone on the team is so good. It was devastating kind of on social media, and Reddit is full of nasty trolls anyways. How did you guys, you know, take it, grow as a team, and how is Seamoose going to help make this better?
Well, Seamoose made it very clear before the tournaments that, you know, don't set your expectations too high, and you just play it out like we've taught ourselves to play. Obviously, leading up to the first tournament that we played, we had the unfortunate loss of Brandon departing from the team, someone whom we've been playing with for a very, very long time. I think there's a lot of misconceptions being thrown out there. One of them being that, you know, we had a ton of practice with the new player that we brought in, which is just simply not true. We had played with Brandon and the lineup for, I don't know how long, probably a month and a half, even longer perhaps. Yeah, a very, very long time. And we started out rough, but we started, you know, cutting the edge of the diamond, and we started getting much, much better, like drastically better every day, to the point where we were actually winning in scrims, like from getting completely shit-stunned. And, you know, Brandon took his decision, which I wholeheartedly support from my own perspective. I think, you know, financially that was a smart choice, but it did leave us in a little bit of a slump. Leading up to the tournament, we had a brand new player come in and try and take his role, and we had about 3 days to play with this person. And it's way less than we had hoped for. Going into the tournament, obviously everything didn't go too well. We're going up against squads that have been playing together for a very, very long time. Even though you're replacing one player, it's still a huge change for any lineup, especially if the person who, you know, departure was a very, very big reason and, you know, a very vocal leader in a way. So going into that, sure, it was a little bit tough. It was hard, but, you know, at the end of the day, you can't really sink lower than that. So we had already hit rock bottom by the end of that tournament. So leading up to the other tournament, we were like, you know what, expectations are gone. We're just going to play. We're going to improve because, you know, at the end of the day, we earn a lot of experience playing these tournaments. So we're not really losing anything. And, you know, we're not hyping up ourselves. It's, you know, it's the fans, it's the players, it's other people around the team that are hyping us up. We're just trying to play our game. And unfortunately, the first tournament didn't go that well. And unfortunately, the second one didn't either. And it was the same situation. We had a stand-in that we couldn't really practice a lot of time with. But, you know, for me, I don't really generally care what people have to say or think about the team. I never will. I never have. I'm just focusing on me, my teammates, my coach, and, you know, trying to play at the best of my ability, no matter what situation we're in.
Harbleu, so, you know, that was the dark days. That's the past. We're looking forward to the future, and there's a big question mark. There's a huge question mark on the team right now. Is you know, we need a sixth. What are some and that? So what are you looking forward to, or what are some key values that are important in this crucial sixth man that we pick up?
I think a couple of the biggest things we're looking for in terms of our sixth player is someone who has a pretty diverse hero pool. The thing about Seagull, who our sixth would be replacing, is that he could play almost any hero out there, be it from Genji to Hanzo to Junkrat. So we don't need someone to necessarily replace all those heroes. I'd say the main one we really are looking for is a Genji player, just because in the current meta, there's a lot of times where having a good Genji can actually open up a lot of like possibilities for your team. So we're looking for someone who can play Genji, along with maybe like Zarya or Roadhog or something like that. So we're looking at that in terms of like hero aspect. Alongside also having good communication. We don't need necessarily someone to be like a main caller, come in the main call for us, but just having someone who's willing to communicate with the rest of the team, give their input, you know, talk about what they think could work, not work, just everything like that. So we're just trying to make sure we find a six that feels good with the rest of the team and that we can mesh with and grow together with. and ultimately hopefully get back to the level that we were at with Seagull, which, again, as Andre said, it did take time. We had played together for like a month and a half, and with Seagull, it did start out rough also, but after having played together with a set 6 for over a month, it was definitely starting to show the level of improvement that we had with the individual talent we had also.
Awesome. Same question for you, Seamoose. You know, what as the coach, what are you looking for in the potential 6th, and where do you see the team going?
Yeah, so I don't want to like make Seagull and our team there to be like a mythological creature in terms of how successful we were in scrims and stuff. I mean, we were doing really, really well, and at the time when I came in, like it was pretty obvious, especially with kind of how Harb was saying, like the heroes that he was playing and how we were playing around that was working really well, especially with Far, which is actually a pretty common pick right now. But in terms of like finding a replacement for him, definitely finding someone who's flexible in heroes. And they don't necessarily need to be as flexible as Brandon was now, but they need to be able to learn different heroes. And that's something that takes a little bit of time to assess whether or not they can. They have to have good communication. I mean, we've played with some players in the past as far as Trouts are concerned that might have been good players mechanically. Their positioning was okay, but their communication wasn't really there. And it's not as if we have the time to teach that to a player. There are certain characteristics that you can try and grow over time. There are certain characteristics that you want to see in a player if you want them to be at this level. So we are taking our time, though, in terms of like finding the right fit. We're currently looking at some pretty good options, and what we should do is focus on building sort of the best team culture with just the 5 of us, and when we get the right 6th, that we just like keep grinding and keep working to improve. So on that note, like, yeah, the 6th should have pretty good communication, be able to play flexible heroes. We want him to like fit into the culture that we have, because we do like to goof off a lot. A lot. But yeah, like, you know, that's something that can be rare to find, like all those combinations of qualities. But on the other hand, there's some people that we're already looking at, and there's still some free agents available that we've heard of that we're interested in. And we're pretty sure with the right amount of time, we'll find the right fit.
All right. Well, this is amazing. I think, you know, coaches are super important to the team, and you got a big job ahead of you. Not even with just these two. I mean, you still have Dummy and Seb to deal with, that bromance. And
no, they have quite the bromance.
I don't envy you having to deal with that. IDDQD, can you just, do you have any messages out there to the NRG fans out there who've been sticking with us?
Pretty simple. Thank you so much for continuously supporting the team. And you know what? With hard practice, we're definitely not going to let you down. Keep a tab on us.
Same question, Harbleu.
All I can say is sorry that our first performance didn't live up to the hype that some of you guys had set for us, but obviously there were some factors going into it that were out of our control. But thank you guys for continuing to support us, and just give us a bit more time. Let us find the right 6th, and we promise that we'll be able to deliver something special.
And anything to the NRG family here for you, Seamoose?
I mean, I just want to say thank you very much for kind of accepting me. I know I'm not a replacement for Seagull, but we do have another sea creature in the NRG fam, so that kind of works. But on the lines of, you know, come on, don't shake your head, Harbleu. Oh, come on. You can't boo your coach on the video. No, but honestly, like, it's been a rough start. It absolutely has, and we're not going to deny that at all. There have been some pretty unfortunate circumstances that contributed to that rough start that we literally had no impact over, and that just happens sometimes. But the team has been working hard. We're going to continue working hard, and, you know, we're putting a lot of effort into making sure that this team is what it can be, and that's one of the best teams in the world. So we're going to work to that, and if anything goes astray, I got metaphorical whip for these guys. But thank you very much for kind of accepting me into the family.
Well, I got to thank these guys for their time. IDDQD, Harbleu, and Seamoose. Make sure you give them a follow on Twitter and Twitch. Thank you guys for watching this video. We do this for you, so make sure if you want to see more like this, you hit the subscribe button, and go feel free to comment below. Besides that, if you want to stay up to date with the rest of the NRG teams, you can follow us on Twitter at NRGGG. Thank you guys. Have a good day. See ya.